This is the story of Cole Phelps from Rockstar's 2011 video game, LA Noire. Let's begin. Cole Phelps was born in 1920 in San Francisco, California. His mother and father aren't directly mentioned, but he does say his family runs a shipping company in California.
My family runs a shipping business in San Francisco. We used to have 2 ships a week to Tokyo. We've been in shipping for 2 generations, Hank.
Cole attended Stanford University and met his future wife, Marie. They would marry and have 2 daughters before Cole was drafted to what would be World War II. In 1945, he joined the United States Marine Corps, or USMC, where on his first day was already getting chewed out.
You dumb sons of get in this line now before I lose my temper.
Excuse me, Sergeant, but...
Excuse me? You. You say another word and I'll break your head and have you in the brig.
He befriended another Marine named Hank Merrill and formed a rivalry with one Jack Kelso.
Thinking of taking on a company of the Emperor's finest single-handed? You don't seem the Sergeant York type to me.
when I need your opinion, Kelso, I'll ask for it.
During the following days after recruitment, Cole would receive top honors for his bravery, but his fellow soldiers would dub him the Dark Shadow. They considered him bad luck whenever someone was under his command, getting them harmed or killed in some way. However, some of them actually respected Cole, telling tales of his stealth and killing the Japanese and popping up out of nowhere.
He's a quiet Sarge. Never hear the bastard coming.
Sitting there, field stripping a cigarette, and suddenly he's there looking down on you.
Why do you think we keep saluting that Jap-loving son of a He's bad juju.
Cole earned the rank of lieutenant and led the 22nd Marines through Okinawa behind enemy lines. During the Battle of Sugarloaf Hill, his battalion was picked off. Cole wanted to fall back, but Hank protested it when a motor blew him into pieces. Cole laid there in shock and stayed in the foxhole all night. The next morning, he was found by other Marines without a scratch on him. His commanding officer was impressed and promoted Cole to first lieutenant and recommended him for the Silver Star, an award displaying an act of valor in combat. This, however, would forever haunt Cole, reminding him of his guilt and lack of courage. First Lieutenant Phelps is then ordered to clear out every enemy building for stragglers. As he wants to follow strict orders, he ends up falling behind the rest of the units, and his squad step into an ambush where many of his men fall. When coming up to a cave, a flamethrower, Ira Hogaboom, is ordered by Cole to burn it. As they start to approach, Japanese soldiers engage in a fight with Cole's squad. Hogaboom is able to slip past and start the inferno in the cave.
The big cowboy! He's going in!
Who gave that order?
You did.
When the flames die down, it's revealed that the cave was a hospital filled with women and children. Hogaboom loses his mind and attempts to fire his flamethrower at Cole, but is out of ammo. Under distress and terrified, Cole orders his men to humanely execute the injured. Courtney Sheldon, another Marine in Cole's squad, grows furious and takes out his anger on Cole, firing a bullet while his back is turned. Kelso shows up and orders some of the men to get Cole to an aid station and never to mention what happened there again.
Everything that happened in here stays in here. Do you hear me? I don't want to ever hear another word about it.
Cole receives treatment and is honorably discharged back to San Francisco and soon joins the LAPD. On the ship ride home, some of the Marines see that Cole is now an LA police officer and received the Silver Star. Courtney, still upset, gives the guys an idea to steal the Army surplus morphine that's on the ship.
You're sitting on surplus morphine, 2 tons of it. Can you imagine what that's worth on the streets? Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I have nothing but respect for what you guys and the rest of the 6th have done. You go through with this, and you'll be nothing to me.
After a year as a patrolman, Cole and his partner Ralph Dunn are called to aid in the investigation of Scooter Payton, murdered in cold blood. At the crime scene, homicide detectives Galloway and Rose tell the pair to find the gun used to kill Scooter. They recover it and track down the owner to his apartment, Errol Schroeder. Schroeder claims to have the gun in a drawer, but it's not there.
What the is going on here?
You're under arrest, Schroeder. Cuff him, Ralph.
No way. You're not taking me down for this.
He engages in a fight with Cole and Ralph, but is beaten and arrested. The pair later arrest Wendell Bowers, who jumped bail, and stop a bank robbery. While walking his beat, Cole hears gunshots and follows them to a crime scene. A man has been shot with no suspect in sight. After finding clues and a witness positively identifying the suspect, Edgar Kalu, Cole tracks him down and arrests him. Captain Donnelly wants Cole to deduct the interview to get a confession out of Edgar, which he successfully does. Impressed with Cole's police work, Donnelly gives him a word of advice.
Get yourself 2 suits, get them pressed. You'll be needing them.
Now a detective in the traffic department, Cole is partnered with Stefan Bukowski. The pair solve a slew of cases together, starting with an estranged husband cheating on his wife.
You're gonna lose your wife, lose your job, and probably end up in the big house.
I hope she was worth it, Adrian.
To a ring of fake vehicle pink slips and stolen cars. Things come to a head when two women are drugged and plummet off a cliff into a billboard. Cole and Stefan find the man responsible, Mark Bishop, who sexually assaulted one of the women who is underage, and the other who is wife to Guy McAfee, known gangster. Cole chases Mark and attempts to arrest him, but McAfee's men show up to kill Mark. Cole and Stefan get Mark to safety, all while taking out the goons. Their captain congratulates them on a job well done and informs Cole that he's been promoted to homicide. Just then, Administrative Vice Detective Roy Earl shows up to give them grief.
Phelps, Bukowski, this your work? Can I help you, detective? Sorry, Cap. Didn't see you there.
Yeah, I'll bet you did. This is a traffic case. You need something?
But is quickly shut down by the captain and instead offers them a drink. At the Blue Room Club, Roy introduces Cole to Elsa Lichtman, a German woman who performs at the club and who Roy has a grip over, and Dr. Harlan Fontaine, hero to the stars. Elsa is grieving over her friend Lou Buckwalter, who was killed by a falling house he was building. Dr. Fontaine gives Elsa something to relieve her stress. Cole joins the homicide squad with his new partner, Rusty Galloway, who you might remember when Cole and Ralph helped with Scooter Payne's murder. Cole and Rusty's main concern is catching the Black Dahlia killer. There's been a series of women being brutally murdered and put out on display. With each case, it seems that they've caught the murderer, and every case afterwards is just a copycat. But the department continues to receive letters taunting them that they still haven't catched him. Cole reads some of the letters and figures out that the killer has been leaving clues in the form of poems to landmarks in the city. With each poem deciphered, Cole finds a new poem and a trophy of each woman killed that the killer previously took.
Elizabeth Short's social security card. A yellow gold wristwatch.
A Molder dame.
The religious medal from the Maldonado case. An open-toed white shoe. And another stanza from the poem. I found Celine Henry's ring. He murdered Evelyn Summers, Rusty. The last trophy was her ring.
The last clue leads them to a church where the killer is revealed to be Garrett Mason, the temp bartender that you meet during the Celine Henry case.
I'm a temporary barman. I work for an agency. I fill in at bars across town.
Cole and Rusty have a shootout with Mason until they end him. Captain Donnelly shows up and informs them that Mason is the half-brother of a powerful politician, and his identity of the Black Dahlia killer will not be known to the public, and all previous suspects will be quietly released.
Procedural error here, mistake there. They'll all be quietly let go.
He also lets Cole know that he will be reassigned to Advice by request. I should also mention that Cole is sometimes seen going to the Blue Room, watching Elsa Lichtman perform. Now partnered with Roy Earl in Administrative Vice Narcotics, the pair are tasked with tracking down Army surplus morphine that has been showing up in the streets of LA.
Might not be filling, but I'm sure it's satisfying.
They track it down to being held by Lenny Finkelstein and engage in a shootout with him. They then uncover a crate full of morphine, making it in the papers. Unfortunately, more morphine is popping up. Roy and Cole get called to the 111 Club that's been shot up. This is where Cole first discovers that his old Marine battalion are getting killed. They head to the Blue Room to interview Elsa Lichtman and her band, since 4 of them have overdosed on the Army surplus morphine.
It's not enough to just survive, Elsa. You have to try and make the world a better place.
After the interview, Cole lets Roy know that he needs to be sure about something before continuing their investigation.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do, partner.
That night, Cole follows Elsa home where it's shown that he's having an affair. Roy has suspicions and sees it for himself. The next morning, Roy and Cole interview well-known gangster Mickey Cohen, who they believe holds the rest of the morphine. He denies it, leaving the pair to check out the ship's ledger to see what else was stolen off it. While looking it over, a call comes in that a public bus is getting shot up. This is because the driver is another one of Cole's old Marine friends. I feel this is a good spot to explain why this is happening. During cases, you will come across newspapers explaining events around the time of some cases. It starts with Corny Sheldon asking Dr. Fontaine to help an old buddy of his find peace after the war. Then it goes into Corny Sheldon working with Mickey Cohen to distribute the morphine syrettes around the city for a cut of the profits. Corny eventually wants out of the deal since people are starting to overdose. Dr. Fontaine helps in distributing the morphine in safer amounts so it will be beneficial to Corny and his fellow Marines. Corny meets with Jack to ask for his help in breaking the deal to Mickey. Mickey feels insulted and decides to deal with it in his own way. This is why Cole's old unit are getting killed. Mickey is trying to put the squeeze on them so Corny will give up the rest of the morphine to him.
Put the squeeze on those guys and get the rest of it.
They don't seem the type to frighten that easy.
We'll see.
Cole finds this out when Mickey's guys and the Marines have a shootout at the post office. Him and Roy go to a meeting place later that night where more of Mickey's goons are, but eventually rid of them. Over the police radio, the dispatcher informs Cole that Corny Sheldon is requesting an interview.
Well, I'll be damned.
That's not correct protocol, 11K. I'll take that as a roger.
When they arrive at the police station, Captain Donnelly takes Roy upstairs while Cole conducts the interview. When Corny is about to confess, the police chief interrupts and orders Cole to his office. Roy is the one that snitched on Cole having an affair with Elsa, revealed in a newspaper earlier. Cole is demoted and later thrown out of his house, pending a charge for adultery.
Do you love her? Do you?
Cole's reputation is stained as he joins arson with his new partner Herschel Biggs. The pair solve a series of house fires conducted by what seems to be faulty water heaters. They uncover that the houses are purposely being burned down by property developer Leland Moreau. He wants to tear down houses and build new ones for returning GIs, but some of the owners of the old houses are holding out, so rather than reason with them, he has an arsonist burn them down.
To answer your question, yes, we would build around them if we had to. Most people see sense.
Elsa then receives a payment from her friend Lou Bulkwalter's death. She's been awarded $20,000 since she is beneficiary, but Cole thinks something is wrong about this.
I think there's something dirty about Elysian Fields. I want you to go and see an investigator named Jack Kelso and ask him to make some inquiries about Lou's case.
Why would he help, this Kelso?
Jack won't be able to help himself if he smells a rat.
He uncovers that the lumber in the new houses are being made with cheap materials, and Leland and other corrupt benefactors, calling themselves the Suburban Redevelopment Fund, plan to burn down the houses and claim the insurance money on them. Jack gets jumped for getting too close to the case, but escapes to Elsa's apartment, passing out from his injuries. Jack wakes up in the hospital to Elsa. They reconnect as Assistant DA Peterson enters, where Jack promises to give him the story of the century.
How about Leland Monroe?
The property developer?
You think I fell down the stairs?
Jack goes to his old boss's, Curtis Benson's apartment to get information out of him. This leads Jack to look further into the information on Lou Buckwalter's case file. He uses the coordinates of the property Lou died on to look up the plot of land in the Hall of Records, showing that it belongs to the Suburban Redevelopment Fund, where he's surprised to see Courtney Sheldon's name as an investor. Jack brings this to Courtney, which he has no idea about.
Your name is there, Courtney, with some pretty interesting company. The mayor, the district attorney, some dirty cops, and your buddy, Dr. Harlan Fontaine.
Fontaine took the morphine off our hands. He reinvested the money for us. They're building houses for GIs, Jack.
Courtney, they're building matchstick houses. They're going to burn them for the insurance money. They'll probably stiff the poor bastards for the deposits.
Please, Jack, say it isn't so.
Courtney confronts Fontaine about Jack's discovery. Since he's been found out, Fontaine injects Courtney with a lethal injection of morphine in his neck. His body is later found by Cole and Herschel. Cole takes out his anger on Roy Earl as he defends Courtney.
Courtney Sheldon was a corpsman, Roy. He served his country. He went out with a medical kit and an Army 45 into places that made the Valley of Death look like a picnic. He was a better man than you'll ever know. You say one more word about him and I will blow your head off!
You finally lost it, partner.
Cole and Herschel then get a call from Rusty to Fontaine's house. After searching Fontaine's office, Cole discovers the big conspiracy for the Suburban Redevelopment Fund.
Jack was wrong. It's not about insurance, it's about eminent domain. The government reclaims the land in the path of the freeway and pays the improved value of the land with the new houses sitting on it.
What about the stiffs who paid their deposits?
Worst case, they get their money back. But the syndicate pockets millions on the improved value of the land.
So where does Jack's boss come into it?
He's the key. He carries the insurance. The insurance proves how much the houses are worth.
And they're worth nothing?
Firewood, all of them.
That's about as neat a scam as you can imagine.
Later that night, Jack receives a call from Leland Monroe. Jack feels this is a trap, so he calls some of his old Marine friends to lead an attack on Monroe's mansion. Once he gets to his office, Jack begins some negotiations.
Jack Kelso.
That's my opening negotiating position.
He then gives a call to Cole, but is informed that Fontaine has been killed and Elsa kidnapped by a former patient. The next morning, Jack tracks down the kidnapper to an old rundown house. He finds out the kidnapper / arsonist is a familiar face.
Jesus Christ, I know every one of them. Oh my God, Ira. You poor backwards son of a bitch.
He has a message to go out to Cole and Herschel to meet him at the Alley River Tunnel, where he suspects the arsonist to be. After a chase throughout the streets, they meet up at the entrance. Jack goes in one way and Cole goes around to the other entrance. They soon find Elsa and her kidnapper, Ira Hogaboom. He's the one that Courtney mentioned to Dr. Fontaine in the beginning, and he's the one that's been setting the houses on fire. But once Ira found out that some of the houses still had the families inside, he turned on the doctor.
You said the house would be empty! How can I find peace?
Cole takes Elsa to one of the sewer grates to get them out, as Jack stays to help Ira ease his ways. As the water rises, Cole and Elsa find Herschel as he helps them out. Cole also decides to help Jack out before himself since he's wounded. The water starts to rise too quickly and Cole knows this is his end.
Jump, Cole! Jump for it!
A funeral is later held with few in attendance. Elsa curses at Roy, feeling the most heartbroken. Jack has Herschel check on her, where he feels that he's made peace with Cole and their differences.
We're never his friend,
the need
Jack.
to remove the odd bad apple from a department
you're right.
made up of good men.
Herschel,
A man who never gave up.
Yeah, Jack.
Who continued
never
to
his
fight
enemy.
the good fight.
I think you knew that, Jack.
LA Noire is a sorely underrated game and truly deserves another installment. After 14 years, no news has been mentioned as of now, although many fans would love to see a sequel one day. You can watch my gameplays and guide to 100%ing the game by clicking the playlist on the left, and don't forget to like and subscribe to watch more videos like these. Liking the videos shows me that I'm doing a good job on these story videos and motivates me to do more. If you have a suggestion for the next story video, comment a character or video game series you'd like to see in the future. My name is Heathen or Story Mode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.